How's everybody doing out there on YouTube? I'm Shafe. This is Shafer TV. Got a pretty good little video for you today. I got 3 topics I want to talk about. All of them are players. The first 2 I'm not going to get into detailed about. I'm just going to say what I really think should happen. And then the final one, I'm going to go into thorough detail about all the bullshit that's been going on the last couple days. But before that, like and subscribe. Let me know what you guys think about the video. Leave a comment. Let's get into it. First and foremost, Casemiro. He's got links to Saudi Arabia. They're no longer just links. Now they are confirmed that he wants to exit and that he wants to go to Saudi Arabia, or at least to some team in Saudi Arabia. You know what? That's perfectly fine with me. Maybe we can get 15, 20, 25 million. That would be great. We get the wages off the books. That would be great, to be honest. The only drawback I can see from it is we do have an 18-year-old midfielder, and I do believe that he would learn a lot from Casemiro. You can't really rely on midfielders like Bruno or anything like that. And having Casemiro and having Eriksen on this team really gives him somebody that he can talk to and he can learn from, and he can see the way that they do things, even though they haven't been doing things so great lately. You know, it's always nice to be able to have somebody that you can fall back on for answers, especially when you're a young lad. But that's confirmed. It's looking more and more like he's going to go. The other obvious one is Raphael Varane. But you know what? More power to him, man. They shouldn't be playing for an 8th or 9th in the table club. They're good players. They still got a little left in the tank. They need to go somewhere else, make some money, and maybe have a chance of winning a trophy somewhere else. So I'm happy for Casemiro. Also, second, Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes, all the talk in the last day or so is Bruno Fernandes wants to go. And you know what? That's okay with me. That's okay with me. He might be our best player. He might be the only real playmaker that we have. And I understand all of that. And he's done his service at United. He's done a great job, I think, for the most part. The things that he does well, he does them really well. And the things that he doesn't do well, shit. He don't do them well. But I think after the Euros, he's going to want to leave the club, and that's perfectly fine with me. And that kind of changes my my thought on whether I want Ten Hag to stay or Ten Hag to go, actually. If we're going to be getting players like Casemiro and Fernandes and Varane and maybe even Rashford, if we're going to get these players out of the club, then I actually don't think I would mind so much if Ten Hag stayed and he got another season. He got another crack at it with some younger players and some players that are willing to work, that are willing to really put in the work, and not the players that, and this isn't to talk down on players like Casemiro, Varane, Fernandes, Rashford. It's not to talk down on them, but these players have been around for a while now, and sometimes you get set in your ways, and like I said, this does change the way I look at it. Like if we're gonna get rid of Casemiro, Varane, Rashford, Fernandes, McTominay, if we're going to get rid of like Maguire and maybe Anthony, maybe like 1 or 2 more, then you know what? I would be on board with it. I would be on board with the Ten Hag 1 more year, and let's see if he proves himself. I would be on board with that, to be honest with you. But it comes with those prerequisites. We got to get these players out of there, and let's let Ten Hag start from scratch, and let's see what he could do. You got 1 year. Let's see what you can do. I wouldn't mind that at all. But as far as Fernandes leaving, you know what? It's his time to go, man. It's his time to go. He's put in his years. He's done well for us. He's put up a lot of numbers. Not so much trophies or wins or anything like that, but he put up some good numbers. So you know what? It's time for him to go. He deserves to get paid, and I'm all right with it. Last and not least at all though, I'm tired of all this Rasmus Hojlund talk. Rasmus Hojlund talk, all the news reports now talking about the players don't want to pass to him and all this stuff. You know what, man? I don't believe any of that crap. I do believe that Rasmus Hojlund is really, really raw. I do believe that there's things that he needs to learn. Everybody can see there's things he needs to learn. He's not exactly the best in his hold-up play. He's not exactly that great in the air. He probably could get a lot stronger. His IQ for the game when in his runs and his thought process probably needs some work. All of these things need work, but that doesn't mean there's not a player there, because there is a player there. All right. And all of this talk about the players don't want to pass, or all these YouTubers and everybody talking about how he's just a bust and all these things. I mean, don't get me wrong. He hasn't played up to the 72 million pound fee. He hasn't. But he also hasn't played bad. Okay? And here's my point in case for this. Rasmus Hojlund is second on the team with 14 goals. Okay? Rasmus Hojlund has played in 40 matches. Rasmus Hojlund has an XG of 11, so he's outperformed his XG. For context, Bruno Fernandes is the leading scorer on our team with 15 goals. Bruno Fernandes' XG is 11.6, so he's also outperformed his XG. However, when you take the XG, the non-penalty expected goals for Bruno Fernandes, and you add his assists, which he has 11 of, it's 20. So he's everything comes down a little bit, okay? When you look at the expected goals per 90 minutes for Bruno Fernandes, it's 0.30. When you look at the expected goals per 90 minutes for Rasmus Hojlund, it's 0.38. When you look at the non-penalty expected goals per 90, it's 0.18 for Fernandes, and it's 0.38 for Hojlund. So what that tells me is that Hojlund, when he gets the opportunity, when he gets enough of these opportunities, he puts them away. And he puts them away at a higher rate than our top scorer does. And to back that up even more, I'm going to go down and I'm going to look at the shooting stats. All right? And when you know it, Bruno Fernandes has taken the most shots in all competitions this year for United at 128. Jesus, that's a lot of shots. It's a lot of shots for a quote-unquote midfielder. Even if you're an attacking midfielder, that's a lot of shots. He has 15 goals on 128 shots. That means that he's averaging 0.07 goals a shot. Okay? Man. The next highest, Alejandro Garnacho, 124 shots. 9 goals. Alejandro Garnacho is averaging 0.07 goals per shot. The next highest, Marcus Rashford, 82 shots. He has 8 goals. He's averaging 0.07 goals per shot. So that front three right there is average. They're all together. They're all averaging 0.07 goals per shot. All right, that is just a horrendous number. It's horrendous. Then you have, with the fourth most shots on our team, somehow, some way, it's Scott McTominay at 63. He has 10 goals, and he averages 0.16 goals per shot, which also isn't great. That's more along the lines of, a solid attacking midfielder, 0.16. Then you have Antony with 63 shots. He has 3 goals. He's averaging 0.05 goals per shot. Do you guys see the pattern here? The pattern is that these guys, with McTominay excluded, because McTominay doesn't get shots like these guys do. McTominay gets headers in the box and he gets runners. So I'm not going to use him in this argument. But these guys are all playing very selfish football, and they're taking shots just to take them. They're not taking quality shots. They're not taking good shots. Okay, they're just taking shots. 128 shots by your attacking midfielder is too many. That's too many. Bruno Fernandes is averaging 2.85 shots per 90 as an attacking midfielder. That's too many. Alejandro Garnacho is averaging 3.3 shots per 90. Yes, he's our starting left or right winger. Yes, I get that. 3.3 shots for a winger is quite a bit. Okay? So finally, we get to Rasmus Hojlund. Rasmus Hojlund has 14 goals on the year, and he has 55 shots. Of that 55 shots, 27 were on target for a percentage of 49%. He has a 49% shot on target percentage. Okay? Rasmus Hojlund has a 0.25 goals per shot. So just so you guys understand, Rasmus Hojlund has taken 55 shots and he scored 14 goals. That means that he's not getting any service. Rasmus Hojlund averages 1.6 shots per 90 minutes. You know what? Casemiro averages more shots per 90 minutes than Rasmus Hojlund. Now, whether you want to say it's the lack of service or whether you want to say it's his teammates not passing to him, one thing is for sure. The guy has a 0.25 goals per shot percentage. He's scoring a quarter of a goal every shot he takes. That means every 4 shots he scores a goal. Okay, if Rasmus Hojlund was like any other forward in this league, he would have around 90 to 100 shots this season. Okay, it's very safe to say that going on the numbers, Rasmus Hojlund would have 20 goals or 25 goals if he took 100 shots this year. A lot of people are comparing him to Nicholas Jackson. What they don't compare is Nicholas Jackson's, I think he has 18 goals on the season. Nicholas Jackson has taken 96 shots, 18 goals. So Rasmus Hojlund, if he was to take the same amount of shots, would score 24 goals if you're going just by the numbers, just by the metrics. All right? I'm really sick and tired of everybody talking about how he's not a good player. No, it's not that. He's a really raw player. But when he gets the opportunity to put it in the back of the net, he does. The problem is that he never gets the opportunity. We have the most selfish wingers in the league. And we have the most selfish attacking midfielder in the league. If I'm being honest, 128 shots from Bruno this year. It's ridiculous. All right? So, with that being said, I hope that changes a little bit of the perspective on what you guys think about Rasmus Hojlund. He's outperforming his XG. All right, he's putting the ball in the net when he gets a chance to. Every 4 opportunities, every 4 shots he gets, he puts it in the net once, guys. That's a pretty solid percentage. And just so you guys understand, I'm gonna go ahead and talk to you now about Erling Haaland and his percentage of what he does, and when he puts the ball in the net. So, Erling Haaland, I think we can all agree, whether you want to agree or not, I think you don't really have a choice. Erling Haaland is the best striker in the Premier League, and he's probably either the best or the second best striker in the world behind Harry Kane. I think we all can agree on that. Erling Haaland shots this year, shooting. Erling Haaland this season has 36 goals. Erling Haaland has taken over 150 shots, it looks like. So he's got 36 goals on 150 shots. Okay, guys? So Erling Haaland is averaging around a 0.25 goals per shot ratio. So what I'm trying to tell you guys is that even the elite strikers are averaging somewhere around 0.25, 0.28, 0.3. That's what they average. And that's what Hojlund's averaging right now. He just doesn't get any service. It's just the truth. It's the reality that we're living in right now. All right? So enough of this talk about him not being a good player. Enough of this talk about all these things. He's a 21-year-old kid. He looks like he's going to be a bull of a man. We all know that strikers don't start performing until their mid to late 20s anyways. I don't understand why everybody's freaking out all the time about this kid. He's gotten us 14 goals this year somehow, some way on a ridiculously low amount of shots. He plays hard. Yes, he could get stronger. Yes, there's a lot of things that he could do to get better. And he will do them. He looks like he's got a good head on his shoulders. He looks like he's a good lad. He looks like somebody that the team could really use. Yes, we can bring in another striker who's around 30 years old who could probably go half-time with Hojlund and they could swap off and he can learn from him. He can learn some of the tricks of the trade. Of course. But enough of this talk about him being rubbish and him being this and that. This is ridiculous. When did we start judging people off of 1 year? When did we start doing things like that? This kid is 21 years old, 22 years old. All right? Give the kid some time. Give the kid some time. He will show you what he's about. Once he starts getting his shots, once he starts getting his service, he will show you what he's about. He is very capable of 20, 25 plus per year. You can see it. The numbers don't lie. They're right there. All you got to do is get off your lazy ass and check them. The numbers are all right there. They don't lie to you. If you just doubled his shots from this year, if he got 110 shots, he'd have 28 goals, guys. You understand that, right? You understand how numbers work? Okay? So stop being lazy. Stop giving your lazy ass opinions about everything and start actually looking at what matters, the progress of a kid, the progress of our future striker, and actually put in the work instead of just making these hot takes on videos all the time. I've had enough of this crap, man. You guys have a good one. I appreciate you watching the video.